so they can set up their meeting that day. Luke wants to do something.
Luke wants to do something.
What does Luke want to do?
What does Luke
Well,
want to do?
he wants to meet with Scott.
He wants to meet Scott.
Does he want to meet with Scott?
Does he want to meet
Yes,
Scott?
he wants to
Yes,
meet with
He
Scott.
wants to meet Scott.
Why does he want to meet with
Why
Scott?
does he want to meet Scott?
Well, he wants to meet with Scott to discuss ways to reduce expenses for their company. Luke thinks the meeting will be quite long.
Luke thinks the meeting will be quite long.
Does Luke think the meeting will be quite long?
Does Luke think
Yes,
the meeting
he
will
thinks
be
the
quite
meeting
long?
will be quite
Yes,
long.
he thinks the meeting will be quite long.
How long does he think the meeting will be?
How long does
Well, he thinks the meeting will be about 3 hours.
He thinks the meeting will be about 3 hours.
Scott doesn't have time for meetings this week.
Scott doesn't have a time for meetings this week.
Does Scott have time for meetings this week?
Does Scott have
No,
a time for
he doesn't have
meetings
time for
this
meetings
week?
this week.
No, he doesn't have a time for meetings this week.
Why doesn't he have time for meetings this week?
Why
Well,
doesn't he have
it's because he just got back to work after being sick for a few days. Why doesn't he have time for meetings this week? Well, it's because he just got back to work after being sick for a few days. So he has a lot of tasks to complete. The meeting between Luke and Scott won't take place this week.
The meeting between Luke and Scott won't take place this week.
Will the meeting between Luke and Scott take place this week?
Well, the
No,
meeting
it
between
won't.
Luke and Scott
Scott is very busy this week, so the meeting will take place later.